Welcome along to What's the Word in association with Ladbrokes, who are, of course, the sponsors of this weekend's big race. Yes, it's the Ladbrokes Champion Chase, the first Grade 1 race of the jump season. It is at Downroyal on Saturday. And what a race we have in store. We're going to preview that in just a few moments. So let me introduce my panel. It is James Morton from our sponsors, Ladbrokes. We've got Brendan Duke, we've got Mark Boylan, and myself, David Jennings. So before we get stuck into the action, we're going to have our quick fire questions. Now, Mark, you're on duty for the Racing Post at Henry de Bromhead's during the week for the stable tour. Regular watchers to the show will know from Brian for the last few weeks, we want a bumper horse, a hurdler and a chaser to follow from Henry's all-conquering stable, please.
Yeah, great chat to Henry. I will say we didn't get into bumper horses much, but there was a handicapper that I'll substitute in that department. I think Chris's Dream was one that I took out of there. I had written down on my page that I thought he was a Tri-Town horse written all over him. He has great course form. They're obviously behind Ballyward. He won the 10 up there himself as well. I think he's down to 146 now after his form tailed off a little bit. And when Henry said the word Tri-Town, I said, whoa, this is what I like to hear. So yeah, Chris's Dream for handicapper.
Rain for him as well.
Rain for him as well. He likes that indeed. Novice hurdler to follow, Cobbler's Way. Now this fella, if you want to watch him when he won at Limerick, his bumper, I just thought it was very, very taken. And Henry wouldn't be renowned for bumper winners, but you remember a couple of them, like the likes of Identity Thief. He won a bumper on his first start under rules. If this fella in the same colours could go a similar way, that'd be very nice too.
Cobbler's Way.
Excellent. And then a Novice Chaser. This one I kind of had it in my mind, just wanted to kind of get it confirmed whether he'd be a real chasing type, but Henry would kind of confirm that suspicion. Cuneo. Now this guy, he had maybe a little bit of a mind of his own. Rachel, he needed a good strong ride from her when he won it.
Cuneo to me and you.
Cuneo or Cuneo, however you want to. I'm not too fancy knowing my part of the word with pronunciations, but Henry said big scopy horse, chaser written all over him, needs to improve a little bit on his hurdles form, but if he does, he'd be a really nice horse.
Ran a cracker at Cheltenham as well.
Right, fourth in the Pertemps, a really, really solid run, and his form does stack up. Again, his last run of the season maybe wasn't his best, but if you look back at what he produced earlier, when he gets over a fence, he'd be very exciting, kind of 2 miles, 6, 3 miles. He could be an RSA type in, maybe not this year, or 4 mile or something like that. He'll stay forever.
Excellent. So there you go, folks. Cuneo, we've got Cobbler's Way, and we've got Chris's Dreams. 3 horses to put into your Racing Post tracker for the season from Henry de Bromhead stable. Right, Brendan Duke, the jump season began in earnest last Saturday at Cheltenham. Did you make a few quid, and does that bode well for the season, whether you did or you didn't?
I did not make a few quid. In fact, I lost money, but it's a tiny sample, so I don't think it bodes particularly badly. Yeah, so the short story is I lost money. The long story is I was feeling a little bit silly and a little bit hard done by, because I placed Slade St. Calvados despite certain people telling me he would win, which he did. But I backed Soviet Pimpernel, got out for a pretty big price on the show, I thought, and I just felt that maybe the jockey been a little bit aware and bagged that near side rail, which he had a chance that might have made the difference.
Do you know what it was? It was one of these ones where, did you think 20 yards from the line that he got up, and then the camera angle kind of changed?
Murder. It's always been there, David. It's always been there at Cheltenham. You cannot make up ground on that angle.
Speaking from past experience there.
Yeah. No, yeah. I knew he was big, but how well did he jump and travel? He looks
what
a
real
performance.
Nice yeah. What a performance from a horse with so little experience. So it was a hitting the crossbar day.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm not worried.
No,
there's nothing to worry about.
No, nothing to worry about. Okay, James, so it's a big weekend for Ladbrokes this week, sponsors of the main race at Downroyal, and of course it's Breeders' Cup weekend. Who have been the best backed horses with Ladbrokes this week? First of all, at Downroyal, and second of all, for the Breeders' Cup?
Yeah, there's been a good bit of money around for Snow Falcon after his win in Gorham Park, so I think maybe just with a bit of race fitness on his side, that's what they've got stuck into. And in anti-post wise with the Breeders' Cup in the turf race, 20 to 1 anti-post into 7 to 2 now Old Persian, and Arizona in the juvenile turf, 10 to 1 into 2 to 1 Fav. So
Arizona, the Dewhurst second, who petrified Pinatubo at one stage a couple of furlongs out. He has been really well back with Ladbrokes. We're going to come to the Breeders' Cup later on, but before we go over to Santa Anita, we're going to stay on home soil for the first race we're going to preview on Saturday. It is the 225 at Downroyal. It's the Ladbrokes Champion Chase. It's the first Grade 1 of the season. And James, how do Ladbrokes bet?
Yeah, Delta Working a favourite at 7 to 4 at the moment. Clan des Obo 9 to 4, Road to Respect 3 to 1. 15 to 2 now Snow Falcon, and Alpha Des Obo at 16 to 1.
Right, Mark Boylan, Delta Work. Is this the 2020 Cheltenham Gold Cup winner?
Big fan of the horse. Don't think he's the Gold Cup winner just yet, but he's on my shortlist for it. I'd have him ahead of others that are there in the market. I think the RSA the way the race unfolded and tactically it didn't suit him to best effect. And reading the comments since, I think that the connections are telling you that if they had to do again, they would have rode him more aggressively and given Davy maybe different tactics going out there. I think he could have won the RSA in different circumstances. So you come here and then you think, right, he's got a right chance here. But I just think a lot of Gordon Elliott's horses, they're needing their run first time up. This is a proper test. What man has been absolutely flying with horses going fresh this season? Noel Meade. You look back, Road to Respect, early in the year for him. That's his absolute peak time of year. He formed towards the end of last season. A little bit tailed off. The Ryanair run was very good. But honestly, I think what really had a big impact on him was his second in the Irish Gold Cup. Did more harm than good. You could see he wasn't jumping as well as he is able to. And I think that was down to the ground being quick. He wasn't letting himself down on it. We saw so many horses pulled out that day, non-runners, due to the ground. I just think that race could have left a mark. You leave him a whole summer to recover and you bring him back here now. I just think getting back to the scene last year's success, a trainer is well able to get them ready first time up this season. He ticks loads of boxes when there's a fitness concern about him. And actually, Clan des Obeaux was a horse I've got great time for. But you know, although circumstances could have been different for him, he's been beaten on his last 3 seasons first time out. Paul Nicholls is at his slowest ever October. I was doing the stats earlier this morning. I think he's trained since 1991 and has never had, on a strike rate percentage terms, usually he's around 30% if you add them up all, but he's down at 20% this year. Now it's still not a bad strike rate, but you go back to a few years ago, he was having 40 winners, 29 winners sort of in the month of October, high numbers. Now he's back down to I think 10 or 11 this season. It's not that they haven't been, they're still hitting the target, but he's mentioned himself that they'll come on for the run. I just think that perhaps he could be found a little bit short here. Road to Respect, Ping Out could take some stopping at 3s.
That's the future, ladies and gentlemen. That is the future. You've seen a world-class pundit in action here. That's what you call research. That's why you're in What's the Word. So it's Road to Respect for Mark Boylan. Brendan Dew, Clan des Obeaux. Why is nobody giving him any respect? A King George winner coming to the Ladbrokes Champion Chase. Surely he should be even money.
Well, I think he should be favourite. I certainly agree with that. I mean, I take Mark's point.
A very good point made.
A very, very good point made. But Cobden was at pains to mention how this horse had been back in for quite a while and thinks he's fairly...
That's very positive, yeah.
So that's a good sign. And some of those runs, while he has been beaten, he was only beaten a half a length by Whisper first
made
time
a mistake
up.
at the last.
Yeah, he says so. He has some decent form fresh, although perhaps he will come on. I mean, this must be the thing. You know, well, it's either that they completely disrespect the horse or that they think he won't be 100%. But I definitely thought he should be favourite. And you could also argue, again, I'm not totally sure about this, that he's best going right-handed. So he gets that tomorrow. I definitely thought he should be favourite, Jeff.
Yeah, I thought the experience of last year in relation to Delta Work, the ground, the track, and the fact that I'd say this has been one of his big targets this season, this race. You know, Nicholls does like to win this race. I think Clan des Obeaux is the one. James, for you?
I have to stick with the favourite, and I just think Delta Work could be an absolute superstar. Hopefully he's right for their first time up. So I just think he could take a lot of beating in that, and I'd have him in a favourite if I was making the book as well. So hopefully he does the business. Excellent.
So it is Delta Work for James. It is you've gone for Clan des Obeaux. Brendan has. Mark has gone for Road to Respect, and I'm a Clan des Obeaux fan as well. That's the Ladbrokes Champion Chase, the 225 at Down Royal. Moving on to the 255 at Down Royal. It is the Grade 2 Daily Mirror Chase, and this is always a cracker. It's one, Brendan, that Paul Nicholls has farmed over the years. I can't remember any trainer to farm a race as much as this. It's incredible. He's got Secret Investor in here this time. Probably not his strongest candidate in the world, but will be towards the top of the market.
Will be. He's a horse who's inclined to make mistakes. If he can cut those out, he must have a chance. But it's a fair ask to give £1 to a couple of smart second season chasers, one of which is Mengley Khan. I just get the sense, again, perhaps Gordon's are needing the run. I do take that point. But with this horse, he's probably looking at this race going, how many races can Mengley Khan really win this year? This is one he can win. He's favoured by conditions. Let's have a go at this. Ran perfectly well in the Galway Plate. Should be relatively fit, although he's been off a few months. He did a couple of runs during the summer. So I thought Mengley Khan would be hard to beat.
Brendan, we're going down together.
Right, okay.
We are sinking together. This is the day for Mengley Khan. Yeah, I know you're groaning at your computer screens. I know he's unpredictable. I know he's probably not the most pleasant horse in the world. But this is Mengley Khan's day. Everything is ideal for Mengley Khan here. And I'm hoping it can cap a terrific weekend for Keith Donoghue. Mark, I know you're the sensible one in this operation. Mengley Khan?
No, I just don't trust him. Don't trust him. He's a sort of now if an email popped up in your inbox from Mengley Khan, it's in the spam folder. For me, I don't trust him. Anyway. I wouldn't be opening it now. He's the Nigerian prince offering you the €1,000,000 if you send him on a tenner. You know, I don't really have great confidence in him. I'm a big fan of Manila Fair, but this is too too much too soon. You like him as well, isn't it?
Strange race to run him in. I
You
thought,
know, the saddle fell back nearly towards the back of the last fence, and he was still able to win the last day at Limerick. But he's a proper horse going forward.
Paddy
Power
too much. Leopardstown Christmas.
That sort of horse, isn't he? But for me, Secret Investor, like just look at you, as you mentioned, Paul Nichols' record. I think I was giving Paul a bit too much of a big up there. His strike rate was 40%. While he had 29 and 21 winners in the previous years, rather than the 10 or 11 he had now in October. But no, this horse here, Trip, I think is going to be A1. He goes well fresh. Track should suit him, I think, as well. You know, ground is maybe he wants a little bit better ground, but I think he's going to be a right horse this season. I could just see him improving. You know, I think what he was doing last year, we got to see what he could do at Ayr. It was just the culmination of him putting it all together. I think it could be an even better year from this year. He's the sort of one that Paul will win tons of races, but he did a super job with these horses.
Okay, well, don't be too disappointed when Mangley can beat you. James, who do you like in this?
I'm with you too. I'd follow Mangley Can off the edge of a cliff, and I have done in the past, so I think I'll give him another chance. Does Mangley Can sum
up your life, James? Do you follow the wrong people?
Lawrence sums up my life, that horse.
Well, you could follow worse than Lawrence, James. So it's 3 votes for Mangley Can and 1 for Secret Investor. And the 255 at Down Royal, moving across the pond to the 340 at Wetherby. It is the Grade 2 Charlie Hall Chase. Always a Gold Cup pointer. Maybe not this year, but James, can we get some prices from Ladbrokes?
Yeah, 5-2 Labago Roy. That is your favourite at the moment. Elegant Escape at 4-1. Definitely Red at 9-2, 6-1. ASO Ballyoptic at 6-1. And it's 8-1 then, or bigger like the rest.
Right, Brendan Duke, how good is this Labago Wa?
She's all right, isn't she? That's about it. Like she gets a handy mare's allowance. She doesn't get the full mare's allowance here. The weights are pretty tricky to work out here. But I can't be having her as a 5-2 shot.
Only rated 151 as well.
She's a 150 horse. That's all she is. She goes well fresh, and she's a good jumper. And she should run her race, but I could not. I was struggling to make her favourite, and I thought there were plenty of runners in this race, including ASO. ASO did really well last year, improved no end, 3 really good runs, and then I think he got scared by Surname and Ascot. I was pretty scared by Surname myself, so I don't blame him. But the 3 really good runs, steps up and Trip here. Don't think that would be a problem for him. Won first time up last year. This isn't Venetia's time of year, but she had a winner the other day. I'd say this is a prestigious race. I was surprised he was as big as 6-1.
ASO for Brendan Duke. Did you just pull that face again when I said how good is Labago Wa?
She's met. Yeah.
It's like when you're going on a date, a blind date, and the girl turns up and you're like...
Everything's dates with you, isn't it? Everything I say, it's like, oh, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, we'll come to that next week. We have a Brendan Duke anecdote ready and prepared for next week. Mark Boylan, who wins the Charlie Hall Chase?
Yeah, I actually, looking at it earlier, like ASO was rated 168, and I think if you thought that he's going to be that sort of rating this time last year, I think, you know, there'd be as much likelihood as me rated that sort of territory. You know, his run on the Ryanair was a cracker, but for me, Elegant Escape, I'm actually dying for them to put headgear on him. I'd heard before Cheltenham last year, before the Gold Cup, that I think he might have worked in headgear and it sparked him, but they didn't opt to put him in any headgear. I think when they do, we'll see a different. He's a big leery old devil. I think he really would improve forward. But just think this sort of race is going to suit him. And I was reading the Colin Tizard Stable Tour, this race is going to determine kind of whether they're going to be going down your Grade 1 route or a Grand National route, so to speak. Do you know what? He goes pretty well fresh. I wouldn't judge him too harshly on entry. That's just not his ball game at all towards the end of a hard year. Just think he could outsail him here for a team that's won it with Q Card in recent years. So Elegant Escape for me, although I'd like a bit more value.
Quick question, who is the horse to beat him in this point?
The one that's going to be creating all the headlines perhaps on Friday, Sam Crow.
Sam Crow beat Elegant Escape in a point-to-point. So you're an Elegant Escape fan.
Yeah.
I know your face was lukewarm, but I think Labago will win.
Okay.
I just think this track, this trip, this time of year...
Sure.
Yeah,
there must be a reason she is favourite. I was just struggling with the price.
Well, it's not because I fancy her anyway, that's for sure.
No.
James, for you?
Big fan of Labago as well. I think Elegant Escape might need a bit of a further test, probably. The ground came up soft, Elegant Escape will be brought into it, I think. But I agree with Juki. I think ASO is the one that'll probably follow Labago home. Okay,
so 2 votes for Labago. We have got 1 for Elegant Escape and 1 for ASO. So moving on to the Breeders' Cup. What action we have on Saturday night. It is going to be cracking stuff at Santa Anita. I want a banker from each of you. I'm not going to ask for much because it's going to be a tough Saturday. We've got Down Royal, we've got Ascot, we've got plenty of action on home soil. So I'm not going to be too harsh on you. I just want 1 winner each from you. Mark, you're going to get the ball rolling.
I had a bet anti-post and I'm happy with it now in this department, and it's probably going to be banker of the meeting at a price. I like Space Traveller in the Breeders' Cup Mile. I think these circumstances, he's kind of a 7 furlong miler horse. I think these circumstances where they generally go very quick hard ground. It's just going to suit him very well. A place like Santa Anita, I think he'll play to his strengths. I'm glad where I stand with him now, and hopefully he can take a bit of whacking. Albeit you have respect for Circus Maximus, I just have a fear. He's the favourite, but it could just happen all a little bit too quick for him. He's a real grinder, a real battler. Drawn nines, maybe you would like to have been closer in. I'm not quite too sure, but maybe you'd like him to be locked on, bang there, try to get past him if you can. For me, Space Traveller could cruise around one big swoop and hopefully get there in time.
Excellent. Have we time for the race?
10:20.
10:20. Space Traveller is Mark Boylan's Breeders' Cup banker. Brendan Duke.
So I really struggled with this, but I came down in the same race because the interesting thing for Space Traveller...
One job, lads. One job.
Well, it's very...
People want to do a treble, and what do? You just pick the horse in the same race.
Well, it's very interesting because I went in and thought Space Traveller was interesting because I like that 7 furlong angle on the tight American tracks, but I couldn't find a whole lot of pace in the race. Now, you could have Circus Maximus because maybe he has to get on with it, but what about this Haga Man? He's drawn 13, which looks like he's doomed. But Frankie be looking at this. I can pop this horse out in front. He's 14-1. Probably the draw is a factor. His last 2 runs are a factor, but the ground was no good for him. Again, he's a high quality 7 furlong operator. 14-1. If Frankie gets loose on the lead, now I could have misread this, but I went through all the form, and most of the horses are either mid division or hold up horses, so it could get messy in behind. And Frankie soft lead. Oh.
Excellent. So it's Haga Man and Space Traveller for the two boys. James, your Breeders' Cup banker.
Yeah, I have a bit of a soft spot for the fillies and mares, so I went with that race, the 8:54 on Saturday night, and I'm going to go with Bilston Brook. I think the step up and trip. A couple of questions about that, but she's answered every question so far this year, and won a Grade 1 last time, or Group 1, last time. So I think at 12-1, it could be definitely worth having a bet on.
Excellent. So that is the 3 Breeders' Cup banker. And overall on Saturday, lads, if you were just to have one bet, Mark Boylan, who would it be?
Peaceful in the 240 at Newmarket. Thought she was absolutely deadly at Thurles. Now she could be as green as grass. It could all just happen too soon for her. But I think there's 4-1 about her out there for that. The 240 at Newmarket. She could be absolutely Anton. Peaceful.
Excellent. Brendan Duke?
225 down Royal. Clanda's Oboe.
Excellent. And James?
The 250 at Artoy, I have went with Agrapart.
Wow. We have a bit of culture among the group. So it is Agrapart over in France. There you go. So we've also got some brilliant action on Sunday. On home side, we've got action at Cork and Naas. The flat season comes to a finale. And Brendan Duke, you are our flat connoisseur. What have you got for us at Naas?
At Naas, I have one horse for you in Naas. It is Warnock, who is entitled to turn the form around with Solage based on the weights. And there's rain due tomorrow or all around Leinster. That'll suit her down to the ground, and it will not suit Riven Light, who can handle deep ground, but I don't think he can handle it over 1.5 miles because it really
won't see it out, will he?
Probably won't see it out. So Warnock looks a really solid play to me. It could be underestimated in the market because she looks like a kind of exposed mare. But actually, she could be building towards a peak effort. She's had 3 runs after a summer break, so this could be her peak effort.
Excellent. So people will either be playing up their winnings, Mark, or they'll be looking to recoup their loss on Sunday. What have you got for us?
I thought Sunday was an absolutely brilliant day race, and I'm down in Cork, and I actually can't wait to get going. It'll be some card down there.
See it in your face. You're excited already.
Yeah, I am really looking forward to it, but I'm going to start today at Carlisle of all places. There's a horse of Colin Tizard's there, Fastinovic. He was second to McFabulous in a bumper at Newbury. He wasn't on back that day as well, shaped really well, and you just think that he's going to be able to win a maiden hurdle with his eyes closed, barring as long as he can jump. Robbie Power going over to ride him. 12:45 Carlisle, Fastinovic. He could be sharp, but Nobel Prize will win the 125 at Naas. He's a proper horse, brother to Highland Reel, amongst others. Idaho, Cape of Good Hope. Good run last time at Leopardstown. I know the winner didn't back up the form at St. Cloud, but he could be a right horse. And earlier in the season, the vibes are pretty strong with him. I think Donegal O'Brien might have mentioned him in a racing post Monday Jury at one point alongside Mogul. And then the last one, maybe could be a bit of a price. Fit to be Tied. Jeff McManus for Niall Madden, 355 at Cork. Eye catcher last time at Galway. Needs a dig in the ground. He's had lots of breaks during his career. I'm not too sure whether it's weather related or whether he has a little setbacks, but he's bred to be better than that. He's a brother to Oscar Time, obviously, who second in a national, won a Beecher Chase. 113, I think he's at the minute, top weight in this. He could just prove a bit classy. Last time it just looked like a return to form, and it's just one of them sort of horses you could see going and winning. So 355 a Cork, Fit to be Tied.
Excellent. Anything from you on Sunday, James?
Yeah, I'm not sure there's going to be much of a price about it, but I was just looking to try find one I thought would definitely win, and I went with the 245 at Cork. Dallas the Pictons. I got my fingers burnt with this one at Cheltenham last time, but was very impressive last time at Goran Park, and I think will more than likely win again on.
Excellent. Dallas the Pictons and what is a very hot novice chase at Cork on Sunday. So now it's time for our 3 best bets of the weekend. We'll start off with you first, James.
Yeah, I went with Labago Watt in the Charlie Hall, the World's End in the 305 at Wetherby, both of those on Saturday, and then Dallas the Pictons on Sunday in the 245 at Cork.
Mr. Brendan Duke.
The 225 down Royal Clandis Oboe, the 340 in Wetherby ASO, and I am also a fan of this Peaceful in the 245 in Newmarket.
Oh, brilliant. We have 2 confident votes for Peaceful. And Mark, to finish off our 3 for the weekend.
That's just lovely to hear. Delighted now with that. For me, Secret Investor on the Saturday at Down Royal 255. The best bet of the weekend, 12.45 Carlisle, Festinovic in the Novice Hurdle, and 125 at Naas, Nobel Prize on Sunday also.
Excellent stuff. So my thanks to my brilliant panel this weekend. It is James Morden from our sponsors Ladbrokes, Brendan Duke, Mark Boylan. I've been David Jennings. Enjoy Down Royal and the Breeders'